president has to address the domestic issues before worrying about the foreign issues, but I would submit that those domestic issues are foreign issues because the greed of the street that has plummeted this nation into financial despair is affecting the rest of the world as well. So it actually is a diplomatic or foreign affairs issue as well as a domestic one, in my opinion.
Indeed, both domestic and foreign. We're speaking with Gary Baumgarten, our correspondent, who is reporting outside of the United Nations building, and we're talking about President-elect Obama's foreign policy vision. What do you think about Obama should do to restore the world's image of the United States while protecting U.S. interests abroad and fighting terrorism? Gary, we only have a few minutes left. We have one caller here. Let's bring up the caller. His name is Adam. And Adam, welcome to Paltalk Unplugged.
Hi. Said everybody can hear me?
Yes, we hear you, Adam. Go ahead.
Yes,
sir.
Paltalk. Don't call me sir. I'm Adam.
Okay. Yes,
okay,
Adam,
Gary.
I can hear you.
I think you didn't like it when you called him sir. You know, Gary, something occurred to me. One of the things that has changed since the campaign of what Obama promised and what he actually said after he became after he was elected president, and this refers to Iran. He never said during the campaign that he was going to take a tough stance against Iran. He never said that. Only after the election did he actually come out with a more detailed plan of what he was going to do with Iran, if you remember that. Okay, Gary, are you still there with us?
Boys, during the election, of course, there are no details. There are only headlines during the elections. But remember what Joe Coffey said when he was a guest on News Talk Online on Paltalk.com. Joe Coffey said that the people in the intelligence community who he knows, high-level individuals who were at national security briefings to which Barack Obama was exposed only after becoming the president-elect, said that the hairs came up in the back of his neck. He was so astounded by some of the information that he was given. So you have to forgive a candidate who is not in command of all the facts during the campaign, who then amends his position with regard to some of these issues after he is elected and properly briefed.
Indeed, Gary, I agree with you. Less said during the campaign and more detail after the campaign. Gary, we have only time for one more caller, and we'll take that call from Jan, and Jan is in Southern California. Jan, welcome to Paltalk Unplugged, live outside the United Nations.
Thanks, Boaz. Hi, Gary.
Jan, I promise not to call you sir.
Oh, yeah, you can call me ma'am, though. But I've been called worse, Gary.
Ma'am.
I have, going back to Obama being in Europe, I recall when he was in Germany, wasn't it a concert that they had made, a free concert, and they got all those people there, and he gave the speech in a concert. So when you make the statement that he had all these people there, I think most of the people were there for the concert and not necessarily him. And definitely, I'm sure that he got quite an eye-opener after he got a briefing. And kind of reminds me of The Candidate with Robert Redford. At the end of the movie, he goes, "What do I do now?
Now what do we do?" Yeah. Now what do we do? What do I do now? Line of closing exactly. And that faces every person who becomes president of the United States. You know, it's a learning process, and I think they don't get it until they're walking out the door. It's interesting to hear President Bush talk about some regrets that he has. You know, you walk in expecting one thing, and I think they find it's something entirely different. They are the president of the United States.
Alrighty, Gary. Well, we're just about out of time, so I turn it back to you for a summary.
Well, I just would say that I agree with all the callers who say that we will not know until after he is president of the United States. I think there are expectations that have already been set for him. As Ed said, maybe the bar has been raised too high for this guy, setting him up for failure. I hope that's not the case. I pray that most of the decisions he turn out to be the right ones, and that our relationships with the other nations of the world improve over the next 4 years.
Well, we certainly hope so, Gary. Well, folks, thank you very much. Gary, thank you for reporting outside the United Nations. And folks, we'll continue this discussion at 5 p.m. New York time on News Talk Online with the University of San Francisco politics professor Stefan Zunes, right here in Paltalk Studio A, I guess in about 2.5 hours from now. So until then, folks, we'll be seeing you at 5 p.m. New York time on News Talk Online on Paltalk.com with your host, Gary Baumgarten. Until then, peace out.